crazy, right?
Okay? Muslims and Muslims aren't getting along.
The Middle East is a mess.
It's been going on for the beginning of time. We're not going to be able to go over there and say, here comes our Marines, y'all quit it.
Has that ever worked? Though?
No, because then they say, they're like brothers. They say, what? Who are you? Why are you? We're fighting over here. Don't come over here and mess with us because we'll join now and just whip you. It makes no sense to me that we think we should go play referee every time somebody gets in a little conflict somewhere in the world.
I don't think we know what's going on either. A few countries from the UN came out and said that they thought for sure it was the government in Syria that was shooting nerve gas off, killing these civilians. Now there's a 100-page report from Russia that came out today that says, no, we have physical solid evidence that it was the Syrian rebels.
Here's the thing.
So we don't even know what we're doing.
Here's the thing. The United Kingdom, our most treasured ally, Britain, said, yeah, we're going to have to pass on this one. The French said that they were in on it. The French were good to go. And then the French government said, the French leader of the Socialist Party in France, who is the leader of France, said, yeah, we'll back you. Then his equivalent of our Congress said, not so fast, my friend. And now he says, we may help, we may not. When did it become our job to police the world? And yes, I know, George Bush did the same thing in Iraq. It wasn't our job to go in and make Iraq a safe place for people either. Oh, we were looking for weapons of mass destruction. No, you weren't. You went in there because Saddam Hussein threatened to kill your father back in the day, and you wanted to get some revenge, and you could because you were president. And I know I'm going to make some of my Republican brethren mad, but George Bush went into Iraq more as a family vendetta than it was to actually help the people of Iraq, in my opinion. It's high time we as Americans become more isolationist. Worry about what's going on in our borders. Worry about illegal immigrants that are coming into our country than it is going and policing what's going on in Syria or what's going on in Egypt or what's going on anywhere over in that region of the world. Oh, but we're dependent on the oil from them. Stop being dependent on oil from the Middle East. Drill for oil in Alaska. Drill for oil in the Gulf. Oh, you may upset a moose that's walking by. I don't care. Shoot him, cook some stew with him. The last time I looked, my livelihood and my well-being is much better to me, more important to me, than whether I disrupt the habitat of a moose up in northern Alaska. Am I wrong, JJ? You're really caring if they say, JJ, you can't have any way to go. You're going to have to walk now for the rest of the days because cars don't work anymore.
I'm not the one to ask about this. I could so care less about Syria.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Yeah, I understand drilling in Alaska. I don't know the pros and cons of that. I'm so ignorant about all that.
Well, most of it is naturalists don't want you to disrupt the habitat of animals up there. If you had to choose disrupting the habitat of an animal, or you having to walk places because we didn't have any oil anymore, which one are you voting for?
For sure.
Haven't we disrupted the habitat of animals? Haven't we disrupted the habitat of animals our
by
whole
building
entire
cities?
Existence? What's stopping us now?
You know, when an 18-year-old's making sense, maybe it's real clear what needs to be done. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll talk about some other things a little less serious. John Cusack's got a stalker, JJ.
What a weird guy to stalk.
I know. And can a guy really even get stalked?
Yes.
You know what I mean? Can a guy really get stalked? We'll talk about that. Plus, somebody got a speeding ticket in Lake Mary, 60 and a 45, $256 speeding ticket. We'll talk about that. And Lamar Odom, not in the NBA, but he is in. He did check himself into someplace. We'll talk about that next. Pop Culture Thursday on the Voice of Ocala, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, streaming live at WOCA.com. The Source.
Since 1976, Daniel L. Hightower, a lawyer, has been fighting for accident victim justice in North Central Florida and statewide. He believes everyone in America should follow the rules, including the insurance companies. He and his firm have experience fighting for victims of personal injury, wrongful death, workers' compensation, and Social Security disability, as well as serving those in need of help with bankruptcy, simple wills, and estate plans. The mission at the law offices of Daniel L. Hightower, PA, is to represent deserving clients and recover the maximum benefits they are entitled to by law in a timely manner. In personal injury and workers' compensation cases, there are no fees or costs unless a recovery is made. The law office of Daniel L. Hightower is located at 7 East Silver Springs Boulevard, Suite 300. For your free consultation, call 352-629-7777 or 1-888-LAW-1976 and visit danhightower.com for more information. Daniel L. Hightower, PA lawyer, fighting for accident victim justice, and the proud sponsor of Ask the Cops.
This reprise of Ask the Cops is proudly brought to you by Daniel L. Hightower, PA lawyer, fighting for accident victim justice since 1976. This is Ocala's Chief of Police, Greg Graham, answering one caller's question.
How often are the officers required to go to the firing range to keep their shooting skills up to par?
Great question. By FDLE rules, they're supposed to go once a year. We actually do, the police department does 2 qualifications a year, and then throughout the year we have practice days and sessions with them. But I tell you, the problem that we're having a difficult time getting ammo or enough ammo to have those practice days. But we do a minimum of 2 qualifications a year.
That reprise of Ask the Cops was proudly brought to you by Daniel L. Hightower, lawyer, fighting for accident victim justice since 1976. Be sure to tune in to Ask the Cops the second and fourth Friday of every month during the 4 o'clock hour on the Voice of Ocala.
Hi, I'm Tom Ingram, CEO of Gateway Bank, inviting you to drop by our main office on Silver Springs Boulevard every Friday from 3 to 6 p.m. for the Community Gazette, a 3-hour show focusing on our favorite community to live and work, Ocala, Marion County. Come join us with the Voice of Ocala, Buddy Martin, in the new old-fashioned bank radio studio as we discuss a variety of interesting topics on the Community Gazette on WOCA The Source.
WOCA.
Don't get caught in the dark. Call Tri-County Generators, LLC first at 1-800-622-1957, your authorized Generac dealer. Tri-County Generators are there when you need them with new generators for home standby, commercial, RV, and portable generators. They also service your existing systems. Now is the time to act. Be prepared before you have an emergency. Call Mike Gant today at 1-800-622-1957. That's 1-800-622-1957 for Tri-County Generators.
What you may have missed on the John Tesh Radio Show.
When it comes to Facebook, the more friends we have and the more time we spend reading their updates, the less happy and less satisfied we are with our life. Most chips are fried in oils that are loaded with omega-6 fatty acids, and high levels of omega-6s cause hyperactivity, depression, even feelings of aggression. To a baby, it's much easier to babble sounds like da, ba, while saying ma requires more coordination between the lips, jaw, and soft palate.
On the John Tesh Radio Show. Don't miss this stuff.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Life jackets save lives. Wear it, Florida. Intervals of clouds and sun today with a thunderstorm around this afternoon and evening. The high today 89 to 93. Then fair skies later tonight, those 72 to 76. Tomorrow and Saturday will be partly sunny with a couple of thunderstorms in the area each day, mainly during the afternoon hours over the interior. The high both days between 87 and 91. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Hi, this is Joe, and I'm your host for the new show, Damage Control, every Tuesday morning at 10:30 a.m., brought to you by Damage Control Services. We're going to be discussing floods, fires, storm and tree damage, sinkholes, mold, and many other disasters that you need to know about, how to prevent and prepare for them, as well as what to do when it happens and what to expect after it happens. This is Damage Control, Tuesdays at 10:30, right here on The Source.
WOCA, Ocala.
We're back on the Voice of Ocala. Pop Culture Thursday. We're talking about Syria. I saw one poll, JJ, that it was a Gallup poll. 9% said they thought it was a good idea to go to Syria. 89% said, yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't care.
And the beauty of it is, when you look at it along the lines of Republican and Democrat, both of them are saying, yeah, we got no business there. Whenever
we already don't have money.
When you get two groups of people, when you get the American people that are divided as evenly as they are in Democrats and Republicans, and it's obvious that America is divided evenly because every presidential election, it's almost the exact same vote-wise in the popular vote for the Republican candidate and for the Democratic candidate. Whenever you get two sides that are so evenly matched to all agree that, yeah, we got no business over there, we don't need to go to Syria. When the United Kingdom, Britain, our biggest ally, says, we're going to sit this one out, folks. We don't need to go over there.
People just don't like, the only reason I've heard for us to go over there is basically people thinking it's so bad, the atrocities going on there. They're killing innocent civilians, civil war. They shouldn't be using nerve gas, and there's videos of guys getting executed and people eating other people's hearts out. Listen. We don't care about goes down in the Congo or in countries like that are constantly at war. People getting their hearts eaten out every day.
Guy machetes 30 people in the village.
Yeah, we don't care about Africa. So why do we care so much about the Middle East? Money.
3 letters. OIL.
Exactly. So don't try to tell me that it's because of the atrocities.
Don't say it's a humanitarian reason. Say what it is. Say it's about oil. That's all it is. It's all about oil. If it was about the human atrocities, we would have destroyed every country in Africa in the last 30 years.
We'd be there.
Okay? We would, there's things that go on. What was that movie, Blood Diamond? Remember that with Leo? We didn't run 75,000 Marines over there to take care of that. We set up some nonprofit to bring those kids over and try to retrain them.
Coney, remember Coney? That lasted.
Exactly.
Coney 2012. That was a great one day of helping Africa out.
It's a mess over in Syria, but it's a mess that I think they should sort out. We shouldn't go over there and try to play referee.
And they won't sort it out.
No.
Who cares?
Once again, let me remind you, since it was the Mesopotamian Valley, since in the heyday, the Tigris and Euphrates were the big deal over in that area, people haven't got along over there.
No.
Need I remind you, the Moors that fought against the Christian, the Moors in the Crusades were Islamic, okay? They've been fighting since the beginning of time. They're not going to stop because we go over to play referee.
Our cultures are more advanced than that. We should be the better man. Just let them do their thing.
Yeah.
Who cares?
And then befriend whoever wins.
Exactly.
Because that's what you're going to have to do.
Just wait it out.
That's what you're going to have to do. That's what's going to have to happen. You're going to have to let one side or the other. You're saying that they need to eradicate it? I don't know what's going to happen over there. I know that I don't think Americans should go over there and be put in harm's way to try to find out what's going to happen. And what happens if we go over there and you got all these observers from all these different countries, Russia and China and England? What happens if we go over there and while our troops over there, we accidentally kill 3 or 4 Russian observers? What happens then?
Good point.
So just leave it be. Let it work itself out. Oh, but they're killing hundreds of people with nerve gas. Yeah, and Coney was chopping people up with machetes too.
Coney.
Okay? Happens all the time. Does it make it right? No, but it also doesn't mean we should run over there as the cops of the world and play police either.
Team America World Police, Tom.
Yeah. We're about as good at that as we are at soccer. John Cusack, you know this guy, right, JJ? The actor John Cusack?
Correct.
Played in one of my favorite movies from the 80s, Say Anything.
Never seen it.
Held the radio up over his head, playing Peter Gabriel's In Your Eyes.
I know that part.
Got Ione Skye in the movie. Ione Skye was hot, bro, in the 80s. It's the only movie I ever knew she did. He's been haunted for 3 years by emails, letters, tweets, and voicemails from a woman who claims angels told her that her and Cusack were supposed to be together. Cusack has requested and was granted a temporary restraining order against Elizabeth Palkey on August 30th. It requires her to stay 100 yards away from the actor and a security guard. Okay, now hold on. This woman has sent emails and threatening letters and all to an actor who has a bodyguard. It's a woman, and she's been told to stay 100 yards away from an actor and his bodyguard.
Can you think really a woman can't blast somebody?
Can you really get stalked if you have a bodyguard?
Yeah. There's cyber stalking. You can get felonies for cyber stalking now.
And if
so
she
just
does
an email,
if she does come within 100 yards of him, if she did come, this is a problem with living in California. He lived in Florida. She comes within 100 yards of him, the security guard just blast her and be all done with it. Stand your ground. She had crime in her heart. Stand your ground. So this is how crazy this woman is. And this is what's crazy. So the woman, she got, the last straw came August 29th when she left a letter at his house and then waited for him outside. She then followed Cusack as he left the house. He called the cops. She was arrested and placed on a 5150 hold. So now they're putting her on a Van Halen hold. I don't know what that is. That was a great album, 5150 by Van Halen. That's the same thing as being Baker acted in Florida.
Okay.
It's a crazy hold, 72-hour crazy hold. Law enforcement says as soon as she got released, she went straight to Cusack's house.
Well, did you hear what she said? She said the angels told her that we were together in a previous life and that she needs to be with me now in order for me to remember how special she was to me.
Yeah.
So the lady's not crazy at all.
No. She was arrested for felony stalking and burglary. She shows up at the house to do all this while the police are there taking fingerprints from the last time she was there.
No way. I love this lady. Pathkey.
Maybe we could send her.
Pay hike or whatever.
Palkey. Maybe we send her to Syria.
Figure some stuff out.
Maybe she'll start stalking the president of Syria. She'll run him out of office. All this will go away.
I never understood the whole celebrity stalking thing. But apparently more people do it.
Until you became a celebrity, and now you got like 4 or 5
Oh, yeah, for sure. No, I don't understand why they do it.
What do you think?
John Cusack, what's so great about him? He's 45, hasn't been in a movie in forever. He's a very below average celebrity right now.
He was never that big of a celebrity.
At anybody to stalk, John Cusack.
He was one of those 80s guys.
If I'm John Cusack, I kind of feel honored that I have a stalker.
I'm sort of thinking he may be paying this woman to do that just so his name gets in the news.
She might have been trying to reenact the Say Anything scene.
Well, there you go. Did she have a radio up over her head? Was Peter Gabriel's In Your Eyes playing?
These are the questions that were not answered in the police report.
Exactly. I want the police to do an investigation. You see how many references? We got Peter Gabriel worked in with the 5150 report. We got Van Halen worked into this story. Tom James is loving it right now that I've said Van Halen for 5 times now. Speaking of stalkers, one of my stalkers is outside the window right now. Could I please get some sort of, security guard here to get my stalker? He just pressed his lips against the window.
It's a clean window, though. New studio.
He is a Gator fan, though, so we'll at least give him credit for being a Gator fan. He's actually Buddy Martin's stalker. He's been stalking Buddy for the better part of 15 years. Used to call Buddy. Kevin used to call Buddy from his ship when he was in the Navy. He would call Buddy from the ship to talk to Buddy on his radio show. Kevin has been a loyal stalker of Buddy Martin for years.
You know what? I take that back about John Cusack not making great films lately. How could we forget 2012 and Hot Tub Time Machine?
Was that John Cusack? That was John Cusack, Hot Tub Time Machine, wasn't it? My bad, John. My bad. Did you hear about the speeding ticket, JJ?
No.
Lady Lake pulled over a guy driving a Honda Ridgeline. It was doing 60 and a 45 in Lake Mary. Not Lady Lake, Lake Mary, Florida. 60 and a 45. And they thought so much of this traffic stop that they released the footage of the traffic stop to CNN, Fox News, and to all the local news outlets. This is where I have a problem with the police department. It's a traffic stop for a 60 and a 45, nothing spectacular. You check the guy's license and insurance. It's in good shape. His registration is good. You write him a ticket for $256. You send him on his way. Then the cop comes back to the station and says, hey, guess what I got on my dash cam? We need to release this to all. And somebody in the upper echelon of the police department says, we need to release that to all the national news media. Why? It was a 60 and a 45, $256 ticket. Nothing out of the ordinary. Ticket was wrote, sent them on their way. But this got released to the news media because it was George Zimmerman. George Zimmerman do what numerous people do every day, speeding 15 miles over the speed limit, gets pulled over, license and registration, insurance, all in good shape, gets a ticket written, on your way down the road. But then, because it's George Zimmerman, everything gets sent to the national news media. And
isn't this the second time he's gotten a ticket?
He got pulled over in Texas.
He can't drive.
Remember, the cop let him go in Texas. But my point is, we were talking about the other day, the media has a tough job to do. And then the police department does something like this, and the media runs with it. It's incidents like these.
Of course they are.
It's incidents
We're going to know
like
every
these.
single thing that George Zimmerman does.
And why?
Because people care, I guess.
Who
I
cares?
don't know.
Do you care?
No.
I have no
There's
desire.
plenty of George Zimmerman haters out there. When Casey Anthony, when's
let
the
me
last
ask
time you saw Casey Anthony?
Let me ask you this. Do you think that there are people out there that as they're doing cleaning, they're in the kitchen, they're washing their dishes, they're getting dinner ready and all last night? Breaking news, George Zimmerman pulled over for speeding, $256 ticket. That people stopped what they were doing and rushed out to the living room to watch that news story? Because they did, they're as big of idiots as the police that gave it to the national news media.
Listen, you better believe that if there's a picture out there or whatever, video of Casey Anthony right now, it'd be all over the internet, be all over the news. It'd be a huge story. We haven't seen her in a long time. People love knowing what these...
All George Zimmerman did yesterday was 60 and a 45. His license was good. His insurance was good. His registration was good. Write the man a ticket. Let him go. And don't send the dash cam video to the news agencies. I'm pretty sure taxpayers think that their police could have done a better job than taking the time out and wasting 30 minutes to an hour probably to get that dash cam video and get it to a news outlet. Is that what taxpayers are paying their police force to do?
I don't know. We're talking about it.
I'm talking about it not from George Zimmerman's standpoint, from the idiots at the police force in Lake Mary that took time out to send it to the news medias. We're going to take a break. When we come back, Lamar Odom checked himself in. We'll talk about that next. Voice of Ocala, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, streaming live at WOCA.com. The Source.
Having the motivation and making the commitment to quit smoking is a great first step towards becoming smoke-free. However, anyone who's tried to quit smoking knows how challenging it can be. Having the determination to quit may not be enough. You may need some help. If you're ready to quit smoking and are between the ages of 18 and 75, currently smoke 10 or more cigarettes a day, and can commit to participating for 24 weeks, you may be interested in a research study which is being conducted to evaluate the use of investigational drugs to see if they can aid individuals in their quest to quit smoking. To help you quit, smoking cessation counseling and all study-related medical care will be provided at no extra cost. You may also be reimbursed for your travel time. To receive more information about this study, how you can participate, please call Rinstar Medical Research in Ocala at 352-629-5800. That's Rinstar Medical Research in Ocala, 352-629-5800.
Hi, this is Buddy Martin. If you have an award or a trophy in your house, there's more than a good chance it came from BJ Trophies Gifts and Awards. At BJ Trophies, Floyd Hirschberger and his staff have a lot more than just trophies. Among the items they specialize in are donor recognition walls and trees, personalized or engraved gifts, cast bronze dedication plaques, wide format digital printing with posters, banners, and signs, and promotional products. Floyd is the official trophy and awards maker for the Voice of Ocala radio show and is North Central Florida's leading leader in custom recognition programs, corporate awards, industrial engraving, unique gifts, and advertising specialties. When Angie Lewis went shopping for something to award to the winners of her State Farm Good Neighbor Award, she shopped first at BJ Trophies Awards and Gifts. Check them out at 1735 Northeast Jacksonville Road on North Magnolia's Miracle Mile, or call them today at 352-732-2249. BJ Trophies Awards and Gifts. Trophies is just our middle name.
Ooh, it's cold in here. Ooh, it's hot in here.
Ah, it's just right in this house.
Looks like 1 out of 3 know about climate control mechanical services in Ocala. The first didn't call 291-0185. The second didn't know to call 291-0185. The third called 291-0185. So the moral of the story? To know is one thing, but to know and take action is another. Climate control mechanical services. Just right.
Hi, I'm Tom Ingram, CEO of Gateway Bank, inviting you to drop by our main office on Silver Springs Boulevard every Friday from 3 to 6 p.m. for the Community Gazette, a 3-hour show focusing on our favorite community to live and work, Ocala, Marion County. Come join us with the voice of Ocala, Buddy Martin, in the new old-fashioned bank radio studio as we discuss a variety of interesting topics on the Community Gazette on WOCA The Source.
Good credits, bad credits. It's none of our business because we're not an auto dealer. We're not a bank. We're not your mother. We're ocalaforsale.com. Marion County's marketplace for cars, trucks, and SUVs. We've got thousands of sellers standing by to take your call. No middleman. But hurry, don't walk, don't run. Just sit down and log on to ocalaforsale.com. Prices and inventory change daily. Offer does not include dealer upcharge. Undercutting, rust-proofing, factory surcharge, or delivery fee. See website for details.
Phoenix Promotional Solutions, your company supplier of banners, digital decals, yard signs, and magnetic signs. Where you give them approved artwork by noon, the next day by 4 p.m., you pick up your banners, digital decals, yard signs, and magnetic signs. Phoenix Promotional Solutions, 368-2404. That's 368-2404. Don't forget, they do vehicle wraps also. Phoenix Promotional Solutions, 368-2404.
Hi, I'm Yvette, and I'm here to tell you a few things about ABC Fredericks Appliance. They sell not only new, but used guaranteed appliances. When you call ABC Fredericks Appliance, they will provide service on what they sell and any appliances that you own. ABC Fredericks Appliance is located in Bellevue, right over the railroad tracks. Call 352-629-5181. That's 352-629-5181. That's 352-629-5181. ABC Fredericks Appliance.
Feel it when we touch. I will never, never let you go. I love you oh so much. You can dance, go and carry on.
We're back on the Voice of Ocala, Pop Culture Thursday. Waiting on Buddy Martin to get here. He should be here any moment now. I got to get this story in, JJ. Lamar Odom. You're a big NBA guy, right?
Huge.
And we're going to talk about Lamar Odom now. We're not going to talk, not in the sports hour, because he's not an NBA basketball player. He is the star of Chloe and Lamar. He was arrested Friday at 3:54 a.m. after being stopped in Los Angeles on U.S. Route 101, showing objective signs of intoxication, according to a CHP report. So Ponch and John pulled him over. John Poncherello and John Baker. Frank Poncherello and John Baker of the California Highway Patrol pulled Lamar Odom over. You're welcome, Tom. Now I've worked in Van Halen and Eric Estrada, so Tom James is ecstatic right now. Odom, 33, was unable to perform a field sobriety test. He has not entered a plea and was released on $15,000 bond. Odom is married to Keeping Up with Kardashian star Khloe Kardashian. Odom, she's 29. Seems Lamar's checked himself into a drug and alcohol rehab. Lamar, as you know, has ran afoul of the NBA drug czar, or whoever it is that's in charge of that. David Stern, I guess, makes the final decision. He was suspended in 2003 for marijuana use, 2001. Now he's allegedly intoxicated, so now he's checked himself in. But here's the kicker. Guess who he didn't tell he was checking himself into a rehab facility? Did I mention that he's married to Khloe Kardashian? Yes. Didn't tell Khloe he was checking himself in. That's not going to sit well with the Kardashians. You don't diss the Kardashians. You know what happens when you're an NBA player and you diss the Kardashians? You end up divorced.
Well, athlete.
Or athlete, yeah. Athlete in general. So Khloe didn't know Lamar had checked himself in. And now there's a report that's going to come out in SI. There's an article on SI.com that an alleged drug dealer said Lamar Odom bought $16,000 worth of cocaine from him in February.
In 1 month.
In 1 month. So the star of Khloe and Lamar, and that's why we're talking about this during pop culture, because Lamar Odom is not an NBA basketball player. He's the star of Khloe and Lamar, which is a show I promise you Buddy Martin tunes into every week. Buddy, you're a big Lamar Odom, Khloe Kardashian Odom fan. Am I correct in that? Huge fan?
Who's Lamar Odom?
Who's Lamar Odom?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of it, all right.
So maybe Lamar in the rehab will run into John Cusack's stalker. Maybe they put her in rehab. Is there stalking rehab?
There's shopping, shopaholics.
Gamblers Anonymous. I know.
But,
Alcohol Anonymous.
I guess if you just can't stop stalking somebody,
remember Tiger Woods went to rehab for a sex addiction.
Yeah.
Or either he was scared that Elon might get a little better with that 3-iron, one or the other. I don't understand these days all these stars and their habits and thinking that the answer to it is I'll just check myself into rehab and people think I'm doing the right thing, so they'll leave me alone. Buddy, that wasn't a big. Did Mickey Mantle ever check himself into rehab?
He should have. Yeah. Am I plugged in over there?
You are.
Okay. Yeah, Mickey played a few games intoxicated in his time in baseball.
Did Doc Ellis ever check himself into rehab?
Should have.
Didn't he say he pitched a perfect game or no hitter while tripping on acid or something?
I don't know if he pitched a perfect game, but he pitched it with an acid according to what he said. Now I missed out on the. Did you do Dancing with the Stars? Because I was on the phone with the boys back in Colorado who said tell you hello.
No, I was going to wait for you because you're a big Dancing with the Stars fan.
Well, I wasn't sure. I was listening to that pop culture stuff on Syria there for a while.
Well, it is pop culture because it's part of what's going on in our world today.
Oh, okay.
It actually is considered when actors and actresses are starting to come out and say that we got to go stop the genocide in Syria.
Okay.
Not real sure that there's genocide in Syria, but there is a civil war going on there.
Let me ask you this. Anybody wish Hunter Thompson Turner happy birthday today?
Happy birthday, Hunter.
Yeah, today is...
He called in. He checked in. Hunter checked in earlier today, said that he was having difficulties again, may not be able to make the show.
Yeah, I knew he probably wouldn't be in, but happy birthday, Hunt man, out there. And
22.
Good to be an old man, for sure. Today on the show, we got some interesting things happening in local news too. By the way, we got the full rundown on this grant, which was not $4 million, it was $3.5, and it involved several different things at Silver Springs, which we talked about yesterday. We also will talk about the fact that the folks who are planning to try to build a downtown hotel got a 6 months extension. That
was the winner of our Pick Six contest, wasn't it?
Albert Peake. Well, he and those other people too, but Albert's certainly one of the lead dogs in that. And then looks like there's going to be a seat available that Representative Dennis Baxley says he may run for the Senate here in a couple of years. So I'm wondering who might be lining up for that seat, Representatives. And I hope we do have a sitting senator, which we haven't had. We've had every year for 50 years until now. So we'll talk about that some as well next couple. And I also saw something earlier today before I left about a raise that the teachers got.
34.8% raise for the permanent substitutes, the full-time certified substitutes. Instead of $100 a day, now they're going to get a raise to $25,750 a year. But here's the big one. The school board also voted to give them health benefits because they were working for $100 a day with no benefits. Now they're working for about $140 a day with benefits.
Yeah, I saw that story. So I talked to George Tomlin yesterday at Howard Robacher's funeral. He's going to come on the show here next week or so after the budget stuff. So we'll get George Tomlin on and talk about the education. Good thing to know that I'm glad they're attending to some of these matters like the teacher salaries and benefits, because extremely important in our community to take care of that kind of stuff. Also,
you hear about the Ocala dentist that
I
shut his offices down?
Pediatric
dentist.
Yeah, it's a child's dentist. I saw the story, didn't read it, saw the headline.
Michael Adair Tarver's license to practice dentistry had been suspended after an investigation by the state in July where they removed files and interviewed employees. He's had his license suspended now because of that investigation.
Yeah, I saw that story, so it'll be interesting to see how that takes place. I want to mention, too, that apparently they're figuring out what started this wildfire. It became the massive fire out west. This Yosemite National Park's fire, they're saying was set by an illegal fire, and it may have been someone smoking weed that set it off. Now, has that been updated? Because about 1:30 I was watching Fox News, and they said that the park rangers are now, the National Ranger Service, saying it's an illegal hunter that was poaching in there. Well, the story, the AP story I have, which I got about an hour ago, said there was local fire chiefs had speculated the possible cause of the blaze, saying it was a hunter with illegal marijuana cultivation.
Wow.
So there's your angle. So apparently, whether he was smoking or not, I guess remains to be seen. It just seems almost impossible that one person could cause such damage, you know?
No, they're saying cultivating, buddy. That means that he had, probably hundreds and hundreds of
he was
plants growing.
Right. He was growing. I understand.
It wasn't a guy throwing a joint in the woods.
It might have been. It wouldn't be the first time, by the way, if it happened. But anyway, he's the one they're looking at right now. There have been cases, JJ, where a single cigarette has set up thousands of acres.
Well, what was it when the fires that raged up and down 95? Was that 1996, 1995, right there?
Yeah.
Yeah, they said that was started. They deduced that was started by a cigarette thrown out of a window.
Yeah, this guy set an illegal fire. Okay, whatever it was. If you light marijuana, that would be an illegal fire, right?
Right.
Nonetheless, whatever that may be. And this big 118 karat white diamond. You guys see that? 118 karat white diamond shown off by auction in New York. Sotheby's is what it is, from Africa, size of a small egg. Imagine that. How's that look on your girlfriend's finger, JJ? And it's in a glass case, apparently. I think it might be worth anywhere between 28 and 35 million.
Trust me, JJ would not give anything worth 28 to 35 million to some girl.
$28, $35 maybe.
JJ may style that ring on his finger.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, tell me what you want.
It was Sotheby's, by the way, and the deputy chairman of Sotheby's Asia said it's the greatest white diamond we've ever been privileged to sell. So it was discovered in 2011 as a 299 karat rough diamond, and in a southern Africa country whose Sotheby's declined to name. So they're not giving the information where they got the big one from. So imagine that. More on the show today. We'll talk about media a little bit, part two of our discussion. Who is the media? How does it work? We talked about some of yesterday about information being disseminated. Today we'll talk more about that. And we're going to get into this segment, the truth about the flop. The Florida flop was took place in 1971. It was involved the Florida Gators and the Miami Hurricanes, and I'll tell you more about that. We're going to talk about the aspect of it, the history revision that's taking place in this now. Once again, there are several ways to get wrong information. One of them is just to revise history.
Revisionist history is a big problem.
Yeah, and of course we got factoids, so stay tuned right here to the program. Call the Voice of Ocala.
1370 AM, 96.3 FM, streaming live at WOCA.com. The Source.
Hi, this is Buddy Martin. I want to tell you about a conversation I had recently with General Manager Pat Murray on the great family atmosphere at Country Club of Ocala.
It's a family-first club. Again, we have any number of different types of memberships, but obviously the one that attracts the greatest level of interest is our family. And the reason for that is we have a little something for everybody. I mean, we obviously have a world-class golf course. We have 7 tennis courts here for all levels of tennis players. We have a junior Olympic-sized swimming pool.
We have a fitness center that's second to none, and we have state-of-the-art equipment in our fitness center.
Country Club of Ocala, where the facilities are all a family would ever need. For more information, call today at 352-237-6644. That's 352-237-6644. Country Club of Ocala, proud sponsor of Monday's Gator Report and Gator Talk Thursday right here on The Source.
Hello, I'm Dawn Lovell, lead event designer and owner at Party Time Rentals. Have you ever wondered what it takes to make an event spectacular? Well, look no further. It's what we do every day. Whether you're hosting an intimate dinner for 10 or a gala for thousands, at Party Time Rentals, we find just the right style and elegance to make your event a success. Our extensive inventory of the finest in chandeliers, tents, crystal, china, and specialty items is featured in our fabulous showroom. Stop by and say hello. It's a great way to get ideas for an event and experience for yourself how you can make your party time special.
Party Time Rentals, located on Southwest 10th Street, just off Route 200 in Ocala, and off Southwest 34th Street in Gainesville. For more information, call 352-629-8858. That's 352-629-8858. The party begins at Party Time.
Gene Powell Pasture Mowing. Our tractor services include bush hog, disking, front end loader, box blade, and stump grinding. We also have zero-turn mowers for the smaller paddocks, aisleways, fence rows, and lawn care. Fence row spraying is also available for weed control. We are licensed and insured. Gene Powell Pasture Mowing, 352-629-2440, or online at powellgene, Gene, at yahoo.com. Gene Powell Pasture Mowing.
Robin, the Marion County Literacy Council has once again nominated us to be candidates in the Kiss a Horse for Literacy campaign.
2 years ago, we sold paintings and won.
Last year, we tried to sell more paintings and lost to legendary boxer Dave Schlenker.
I think he was wrestling.
Wrestling, boxing, what's the difference, Robin?
Well, the difference is that this year, we're busking for a bus.
Translated, that means we'll be street performing for a kiss.
A kiss with a horse.
So be sure to keep your radio tuned to WOCA The Source as we announce the different locations where you can catch us playing our accordion and mandolin on the streets.
All to help the Marion County Literacy Council teaching adults to learn how to read.
We made a website just for our campaign.
It's buskforabus.com. That's bus, B-U-S-K, then the number 4, then the letter A, and then bus with 2 S's.
Promotional consideration for the Marion County Literacy Council provided by your friends here at WOCA The Source.
96.3 FM, 1370 AM.
Call me crazy. Some people say insanity is doing the same thing over and over expecting a different result. I think insanity is 1,000 single-sided full-color business cards for $15 or packing service for 50% off. Call me crazy. Regency Printing on the corner of Northeast 25th Avenue and 24th Street, 789-6683. That's 789-6683. Look for the yellow signs.
And welcome back to the Voice of Ocala. On kind of a hot, it's a hot Thursday. Man, it's getting toasty. I guess summer's going to make us pay for it just another week or 10 days or so. You can feel a little bit of difference in the morning, but then it gets hotter in the day, and we're good for another month of hot weather, and probably the first week or so in October. It really didn't. Mid-October it starts cooling a little bit at night and in the morning. So my favorite time, of course, is the fall and stuff happens like that. So. Coming up next hour, we'll talk about who would replace Dennis Baxley. I'll tell you what he said in his story. And look at it like this. Whether you're for or against the Stand Your Ground law, it's obviously a very controversial one. And what it's going to be interesting if Representative Baxley, who, by the way, is a friend of the program and comes on quite regularly, but people are going to tag us with Ocala, Florida, home of the guy who started the Stand Your Ground law, the sitting senator from Ocala, stand your ground, et cetera, just like they do when they say Ocala, thoroughbred horses, John Travolta, Silver Springs, and so on. So I want to have us go play with some people. Representative Baxley, we're going to try to get him on the program here soon. And I know it's too early to talk about the campaign, but it is out there. And he says that it's Senator Charlie Dean, who I've spoken to, had on the show before from over in Inverness, who I'm a big fan of, by the way, because he's so pro Silver Springs. He will run for that seat, which will be vacated, and we'll see who's going to run for Baxley's seat. I have a couple of ideas. Maybe you do too. Meanwhile, JJ, let's rock out to a few factoids on the way out of here today and get ready for hour 2 of the program, as we always do. And you got that Facts of Life stuff going on? He's looking for it. All right. We got 5 today. These little factoids. I can't tell you if they're 100% correct. I just got them off the internet, okay? This I do know is true. People who create a bucket list of things they like to do are more likely to actually achieve those things. I'm a big believer in making lists, and there are some surveys that show that people who make lists are far more successful because they stay focused. Here's one from Most Secret Facts. If you rub an onion on your foot, you'll be able to taste it within 30 to 60 minutes. Believe that, Austin? From Most Secret Facts, hot water is more likely to break thick glass than thin glass. That's why test tubes are made of thin glass. Number 4, JJ, listen up. People who let their romance blossom for a lengthy period of time are more likely to have a longer relationship. Let's hope for you, JJ, yeah. And finally, the crime rate in the Netherlands is so low, they're shutting down their 8 prisons due to lack of prisoners. One more. Yeah, how about that? I'm going to give you one more little factoid.
We have a prison in every single county in Florida, by the way.
Yeah, we do.
It's a fact.
Yeah. Here's one for you that you'll blow your mind. It's from mind-blowing pictures. Bill Gates is worth so much money that if he drops a $100 bill, it's literally not worth his time to stop and pick it up.
I like that.
Isn't that incredible?
I want to have that kind of bread.
That's what you call rich right there, isn't it? So,
I mean, I don't pick up anything less than a dime.
I do. I pick up pennies.
Do you?
My grandmother
can't
told me
even pick up nickels.
My grandmother always said pennies make dollars, my friend.
I like
that.
So
it's something you got to do. We talked about Surrey a little bit. We'll touch on it more. We got our man in the ball out there who's going to give us his results. And also, you have problems remembering names? I got some help for you right here in the voice of Ocala. 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, the source.
She grew up in an Indiana town, had a good-looking mama who never was around, but she grew up tall and she grew up right with them Indiana boys on an Indiana night.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And so is State Farm agent Angie Lewis, working hard to serve her community as a citizen and insurance agent. Angie wants to help you as you adjust your insurance needs to your life. From everything to helping educate your teen driver to protecting your family against everyday risk. She wants to change the way you perceive insurance by developing relationships with her clients, which is why Angie and her staff are proud to be a part of so many good causes in Ocala. In turn, she has chosen to single out those who step up as leaders. Each month on the Voice of Ocala, Angie spotlights a good neighbor, saluting those who give exceptional service or do random acts of kindness to others. For this, Angie was written up in State Farm's National Magazine. Angie also supports local businesses with a regular Biz Buzz. The Angie Lewis State Farm Agency is located at 1122 Northeast 36th Avenue, where visitors are always welcome and the coffee pot is always on.
Hi, this is Lisa Midget, owner of Kinetic Motion Fitness here in Ocala, Florida. A lot of you have experienced our great classes in personal small group training, but did you know we now offer dynamic workouts on DVD? These high-quality, locally produced, effective DVD workouts can go where you go. Going on vacation? No problem. We can go with you. Friends and relatives out of town who are jealous that you get to come to KMF? No problem. We ship anywhere in the United States for free. Our great lineup of 4 DVDs includes Kinetic Achieve, Kinetic Couples, Kinetic Core, and Kinetic Campus. 4 great workouts for the entire family on DVD. Sound interesting? Check them out on our website at kmfocala.com. While you're there, check out our class schedule and come see us. We're only 5 minutes from downtown across from the Skylark Plaza. Visit kmfocala.com and like us on Facebook. KMF will get you results at our studio or at home with one of our DVDs. Kinetic Motion Fitness. We're ready when you are. Visit kmfocala.com for more information.
If you need a sign or a banner for your yard or your business or your campaign, I'd recommend you go to Signs Unlimited at 318 South Magnolia in Ocala. Screen printing, embroidery, digital graphics. Do what I did when we needed signs for the Save the Marion Theater Group. Go see Vic Buttermore at Signs Unlimited if you want quality work with a fast turnaround from somebody who is deeply committed to his community and always ready to assist you. There's a reason Vic's slogan is, "It's our business to make your business better." Sign up for Signs Unlimited. Call 732-7341 today.
Ocala Radio, WOCA.
I'm sure you never get tired of being reminded as to how lucky you are to be here in sunny Florida. Everything you could possibly want is right outside your door. Well, now you have a brand new automobile showroom and service center to match your lifestyle. Introducing Village Ford. This state-of-the-art facility has been carefully designed to be the most customer-friendly experience ever in buying or caring for your vehicle. Village Ford, located minutes north of the Villages on Highway 441, has a wide selection of new and certified pre-owned Fords, along with many low-mileage, thoroughly inspected used cars and trucks. And for the reliable, fast, on-the-go routine maintenance, Village Ford introduces Quick Lane, a nationwide tire and auto center open 6 days a week, servicing all makes and models with no appointment necessary. We invite you to visit Village Ford and find out for yourself how buying your next car is as pleasant as, well, living where you do.
Hello all, Joe Martone here for Karaoke Time. You hear me each morning for the segment of Fun with Joe? Well, fun is what I do. So the next time you want to have a get-together, for just about any reason, give me a call. 470-0276 for Karaoke Time. That number is 470-0276. Everybody likes to sing, and with the words on the screen, it's just that much easier. Call Karaoke Time, 470-0276 for the next event, big or small. Karaoke Time can keep the fun in your business, too.
Ugh, what wrong?
Ugh, need wood for fire.
Ugh, I go get. Ugh, I got wood for fire.
Ugh, what takes so long?
Had to use restroom. Someone not refill toilet paper.
Ugh, my bad. You wash hands?
Ugh, of course. Ugh, what caveman you take me for?
You know, Dan, people who save money by switching to Mike Scott Plumbing sure are happy.
Well, Brittany, how happy are they?
Happier than a caveman with indoor plumbing.
Yep. Get happy. Get Mike Scott Plumbing. If water runs through it, we do it. 237-2888.
Stay informed on everything going on in the Villages with the Village Spectator newspaper. The Village Spectator is exclusively devoted to the Villages with news, commentary, and more. And yes, they have Tom's Picks, a free referral for people who are looking for a company to do work for them. Tom's Picks will refer the company that fits your needs, and all we ask is that you tell them where you heard about them. Call Tom's Picks at 804-1223 and pick up your copy of the Village Spectator today.
Now read Ocala Downtown newspaper online.
You're listening to WOCA News Talk 1370, Ocala's source for what's happening in today's hottest, up-to-date news and topics.
This is something that you may not be aware of, but that Google can electronically scan your mail to help sell ads. The company says it's perfectly legal. Officials in California don't agree, though. They say it's really no different than wiretapping, and they're suing the site to stop the practice. Maybe special to you, but a prospective employer does not necessarily want to see your tattoo. A survey of British hiring managers says even if ink is mainstream or becoming somewhat, they're not appropriate for most workplaces. So remember, if you can see it, cover it up. You may notice something has been missing this summer, especially if you live along the east or Gulf Coast of the United States, and that's hurricanes. The National Weather Service says we haven't had any of the Atlantic Ocean so far this season, but reminds us that it's not over until the end of November. Alec Baldwin's taking on a new role. The actor will host a weekly talk show on MSNBC. The cable channel says the program, called Up Late with Alec Baldwin, will focus on culture and events. This is ABC News.
The Sage Salute to your business. Here's to being your own boss, even on the days you don't want to listen. To doing it your way and still taking the highway. To your dreams and your realities growing closer together. Here's to seeing all the money that flows into your business and out as clear as day. Sage, the confidence to manage your cash flow. Visit sagetoday.com.
Trying to sell your old car? Instead, donate your vehicle to Heritage for the Blind. Pickup is free and your donation is tax deductible. Just call 1-800-895-8035. Heritage for the Blind accepts cars, vans, trucks, and boats, whether they run or not. Donate your vehicle and you'll receive a free 3-day vacation voucher to over 50 locations. Call 1-800-895-8035. That's 1-800-895-8035.
I'm just sick of all the amateur stuff, you know? I mean, like, if I'm paying top dollar, I want a little production value, you know? Like some editing, transition, something, some music.
Don't worry, we didn't leave you.
He's gone? He's not gone. That's the whole point. He's never gone.
Our bosses say we gotta stay.
Check out the name tag. You're in my world now, Grandma.
Bow to your sensei. Bow to your sensei. It's time for the second hour of The Voice of Ocala. Hoo-ah!
You ever come across anything like time travel?
Come on, stick around. It's free.
If you win, you win. If you lose, you still win.
Welcome to hour 2 of the program, Voice of Ocala, here on a muggy, hot Thursday. We're just in our brand new studio, still brand new, Paddock Mall. Friends passing by, saying hello, hi, peace sign, all that kind of stuff. We got that one double thumbs up one day. We haven't had that yet. Again, that's the one timer. So if you're passing by and you want to voice your approval or disapproval, you go thumbs up, thumbs down, double thumbs up, whatever you want to do, and just raise your hand and say hi. We're here every afternoon from 3 to 6, except Fridays. Tomorrow we'll be at Gateway Bank and doing our thing over there. We'll be there with Albert Peak, first winner of this year's Pick Six contest. For those folks who don't know what that is, we'll continue to try to tell you. You can pick up some copies of the contest right here in the studio. I guess we got them, Austin, at the front desk, or Tom, where you can come in and pick them up, and you have a chance to win some nice prizes. You got to pick 6 games, 3 pro, 3 college, and then you have to have 1 Florida team in the pros and 1 in the college. A little bit more difficult this week because you got no FSU playing, and Miami plays Florida. So you're going to run out, be careful, you'll have a lot of choices there. So we'll do our picks this afternoon on Around the Water Cooler when Tom James gets here. And then we've got some very nice prizes. I understand Grinders, thanks to David for contributing to the fund and giving us a $50 gift certificate from Grinders, a $50 gift card from Gateway Bank. We've got Marion Theater tickets. We've got some Mojo's food. We probably got some golf. So nice prize pack when you win this thing. Of course, you get to brag, as Albert Peak's doing today. I talked to Albert this morning, congratulated him. He says, what you going to do, Albert, today? He says, I think I'm going to go fly. This is a clear day to fly. So I said, well, you're flying right now, buddy, 6-0. It's a pretty good start right there. He said, oh, it was luck. I said, Albert, just claim it, buddy. Take it when you get it, right, JJ? You get it, take it, even if it's blind luck. So
he's going to go fly?
Yeah, he's going to go fly today. He's going to go on an airplane. He's going to fly his airplane around here. So,
he has an airplane.
Well, I don't know if he has one. He's going to fly one, somewhere. So anyway, Albert, of course, got the good news this week that he that his group got an extension from the city on the downtown project where they are trying to put together a plan for a hotel downtown, which I think is the absolute slam dunk thing to do down there. And also the Sprint building, Sandy McBride's working on that. Local people working downtown on the east side of the square to develop that property, which so far we've not been successful. I think if we're ever going to have a chance, these people, Bryce, his son, Bryce Peak's son, they're all putting this together. And I'm really excited about the possibility of this happening because this is what we need. We need a hotel. We need also condominiums down there. Once we got that, the downtown comes alive, especially with younger people. So we're excited about that possibility. So congratulations to Albert, and we'll go do our picks a little bit later on. Also today, we're going to talk about the media a little bit more. I'm surprised sometimes that the media, who of course is like a pinata, everybody likes to kick them around. It's a convenient thing to do, and sometimes they deserve it. I get mad at them myself sometimes. I made my life in the media, most of the time I made my living in the media of one fashion or the other, but there's some confusion about what the media is. Really what it is and how we get information and how we get wrong information and how mistakes are made and et cetera, et cetera. And I'm going to say this up front right now. I've served with some great men and women in the media that were very dedicated to getting the truth. And you can say what you want to about them, but they're for the most part, the ones I've dealt with are quality people with integrity and who basically work for low wages to try to get the truth told. So, and they're good ones. So there's some good ones and there's some bad ones. But we'll talk about that in a moment and talk about what is the media today, just because I think it's important to discuss that. And in doing so, I'm going to talk about the process, which is, again, as I said yesterday, you're only as good as your sources If someone lies to you and you quote them, you perpetuate the lie unknowingly. If somebody gives you a wrong fact and you can't check it out and you print it, it's basically on you. Just because you quote them doesn't mean that you're not complicit in the thing. And so there are ways that there are booby traps everywhere. And I'm going to talk about that. And I'm going to talk about this as an example. And one other one I said earlier, I found as I get older, revision is very popular with people when it comes to history. For instance, I know a number of people that I went to high school in this town with, and we talk about certain days and nights and events. And sometimes their version of it is something I've never heard of before. I was there and in it, and what they say happened and what I thought happened, totally different. Doesn't mean I'm 100% right on that. But people's opinions are colored by their own experiences, and time does change things, and it dims memories, and people get things wrong. In this particular case, even though it's a sporting event or sporting happenstance, I should say, that happened in the Miami-Florida game in 1971, it was a very famous one nationally, and it was the flop, called the Florida Flop, and it involved the Florida players trying to get the ball back for their quarterback playing his last game to set the all-time national passing record, and the University of Miami was trying to hold the ball, although they were losing the game late in the game. Now, all of a sudden, a few Miami players have a different version of that, which really intrigues me because I was on the sideline that night and I saw the game, saw it happen, reported about it, wrote about it in the book. It's on page 96 of the new version of the book that's out now, The Boys from Old Florida Revised Edition. You can go on Amazon.com and find it if you're interested, or you can email me at buddy@WOCA, and I can tell you more about that. But the main thing is that what was in the book and what's factual and what's not factual. So all those factors play into the media and the portrayal of what happened in the story and the storytellers that make it. So having said that, there's a lot of things happen globally. We don't do a whole lot of global things here because, our job is not to interpret the international news. We have opinions about things that happen, and we have hopefully informed opinions, although I got to tell you, I don't know a whole lot about the Mideast and Syria other than what I read. I do read. I read a number of newspapers. I read online. I watch television. I watch the news shows. I watch the Sunday morning news shows. I try to stay informed, but, I don't know if there's weapons of mass destruction over there or not, but I can tell you the body of evidence, and this is what when you talk about reporting, Austin, if you ever go into this field, when you're talking about reporting and what you're trying to portray, it's a body of evidence, just like as a courtroom, that really forms your thought and your opinion about something. It's not one single source. It's the body of evidence, just like in a courtroom. When you go in there and suddenly you have all this evidence, and let's face it, probably 85% of all cases are decided on what they call hearsay. It's evidence, but there's no smoking gun every time. So it's a body of evidence that says you lean this way, you lean that way. Well, right now, I think the body of evidence looks like it's going to be clear, it's going to be substantial, and there's enough credibility to the reports about this gas they're using, but I don't know. I honestly don't know, and it's because we've been wrong before about it. We were wrong about it in Iraq, in Iran, Iraq, and we were wrong when we said there were weapons of mass destructions there, and they weren't. So I just don't know. I think there is, but is the body of evidence conclusive? Well, I don't feel quite so bad because apparently some folks out there aren't any more informed than I am, if I can believe our man in the mall, Austin, who just came back for a trip out there. We got back. We'll tell you what some of the people said when Austin asked them, should we go to Syria and support, I guess it's the rebels, isn't it? Support the rebels in this conflict without putting boots on the ground and shedding blood. So I'm paraphrasing the question. So we're going to take a break. We come back. We'll find out what Austin learned from the people on his Man in the Mall trip here this afternoon right here on the program called The Voice of Ocala.
1370 AM, 96.3 FM, streaming live at WOCA.com.
The Source.
Since 1976, Daniel L. Hightower, a lawyer, has been fighting for accident victim justice in North Central Florida and statewide. He believes everyone in America should follow the rules, including the insurance companies. He and his firm have experience fighting for victims of personal injury, wrongful death, workers' compensation, and Social Security disability, as well as serving those in need of help with bankruptcy, simple wills, and estate plans. The mission at the law offices of Daniel L. Hightower, PA, is to represent deserving clients and recover the maximum benefits they are entitled to by law in a timely manner. In personal injury and workers' compensation cases, there are no fees or costs unless a recovery is made. The law office of Daniel L. Hightower is located at 7 East Silver Springs Boulevard, Suite 300. For your free consultation, call 352-629-7777 or 1-888-LAW-1976 and visit danhightower.com for more information. Daniel L. Hightower, PA lawyer, fighting for accident victim justice, and the proud sponsor of Ask the Cops.
This reprise of Ask the Cops is proudly brought to you by Daniel L. Hightower, PA lawyer, fighting for accident victim justice since 1976.
This is Marion County Sheriff Chris Blair's answer to a question posed by Buddy Martin.
If I had to rank top 3 types of crimes that you're dealt with, but after drugs, what are the other 2 or 3 that you guys would say take up most of your resources and your time?
Well, number one, certainly drugs is what's leading all crime. With the exception of homicide, where you may have a domestic violence type case and a husband kills the wife or vice versa. The ones that take time are the burglaries, the thefts, the auto burglaries.
That reprise of Ask the Cops was proudly brought to you by Daniel L. Hightower, lawyer, fighting for accident victim justice since 1976. Be sure to tune in to Ask the Cops the second and fourth Friday of every month during the 4 o'clock hour on the Voice of Ocala.
Hi, I'm Tom Ingram, CEO of Gateway Bank, inviting you to drop by our main office on Silver Springs Boulevard every Friday from 3 to 6 p.m. for the Community Gazette, a 3-hour show focusing on our favorite community to live and work, Ocala, Marion County. Come join us with the voice of Ocala, Buddy Martin, in the new old-fashioned bank radio studio as we discuss a variety of interesting topics on the Community Gazette on WOCA The Source.
1370 WOCA.
On the next AM Ocala Live, Robin and I will be speaking to J.R. Langford, the first woman appointed by any country to fill the secretariat of a technical committee in the International Electrotechnical Commission. She's written a book. It's called The Covert Messiah. It is a mystery thriller novel.
News Bites, the hottest news and current events served bite-size.
And then Jim George will be in the studio from American Cable Services telling you how he fixes our homes so that we can sit and watch TV.
Shannon Cassidy is a facilitator and a speaker. She's written a book called The 5-Degree Principle, How Small Changes Lead to Big Results.
And then Ocala Magazine Radio with your new host, Kelly Fuqua Hart.
Staff Sergeant John Bowen and Sergeant John Martin will be in the studio. They'll be speaking about 11 months and 19 days, a Vietnam illustrator's memoir written by Sergeant John Bowen.
And then Carol Huntsman will be with us. She's speaking about the One Day for Everyday Multiple Sclerosis Conference happening in Orlando on September 7th. All of that plus Fun with Joe on the next AM Ocala Live right here on The Source, WOCA 96.3 FM.
1370 AM.
Legally Yours, brought to you by Fuller & Fuller Attorneys at Law. On the air every Wednesday morning at 10:30 a.m. with John Fuller, a board-certified civil trial lawyer for over 25 years. John welcomes your questions, from business to complex family matters to legal disputes. So tune in every Wednesday morning at 10:30 a.m. for Legally Yours with John Fuller, right here on WOCA 1370 AM and 96.3 FM, The Source.
Habitat for Humanity of Marion County is a ministry dedicated to improving lives by providing affordable and decent housing. Help them help others by visiting the Habitat for Humanity Ocala home store on Northwest 27th Avenue. To schedule a donation, give them a call and they'll come and pick it up. For more information, visit habitatocala.org. Habitat for Humanity of Marion County, building homes, building hope, building community.
Coming up in the Sports Hour, we're going to talk about tonight, first NFL game of the season, Broncos, 7.5-point favorites over the defending Super Bowl champions. So that's
craziness.
Yeah. and Peyton gets a chance to come out there and versus Joe Flacco. And I'll tell you a good question. We'll talk about it around the water cooler. Who gets the most yardage tonight, Flacco or Manning? Be interesting. Syria. I know there are a lot of opinions. How many informed opinions, I'm not sure. I know our president is taking his case. By the way, they just had the G20 conference
in Russia,
and they showed the leaders walking back from the meetings.
He wasn't there.
Okay, well, you tell it.
Well, I'm just telling you, he wasn't there.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Anyway, so he's obviously I don't know if he says he definitely wants to go over there, and I know he doesn't want to get in a conflict. But the problem is that we've seen this movie before, is that just because you say you don't want to get into a conflict, once you go into a combat mode, there's no guarantee what's going to happen. So we went out today among the people, and our man in the mall, Austin Chapman, getting a little bit hassled by some of the authorities, but he fought through it. He's a player. He comes with his game face. And he had a question, which I'm going to let him read, and then tell us what happened in this whole thing, this question, and let's see how it lines up. Because I just read a poll on CNN that 59% of the people that they polled said they did not want to have any participation, any kind, in Syria. So I wonder how this will shake out with Ocala, with the people that Austin was able to talk to in limited time. Austin, what'd you find out?
Right. So I went out, I asked, should America aid Syria in its current conflict, even if we don't send troops? So I got to 9 people before I was stopped by authorities, but 7 said absolutely not. They were emphatic. They said, no, we need to deal with our own problems first. We got enough problems with our economy. We have enough problems on our own soil that we do not need to get involved in another external affair. And then 2 people said, yes, we should aid them. Definitely not troops. Definitely not money, but they thought we should help them out.
All right, so the 2 people who did, that would be 2 out of what, 9? Or
2 out of 9, yes.
Okay, so that's a little bit more than 20% who said they wanted some kind of help. Did they indicate to you the reason why? Because this is what it gets down to. When you talk about, nobody wants to shed American blood. Nobody wants to spend more money on war. The question becomes, what is it we want to do in Syria? And what did these people say they thought would be appropriate, or did they say?
It was mostly a sympathetic feeling and saying that we know that there's something going wrong, and it's kind of hard sitting here and seeing a nation struggle like they are, so want to lend a helping hand, but only to a certain extent, was basically what they were saying.
Okay, so I guess my question to the group here is, we all know how we'd like to do this, but what would it take for us to want to respond in some fashion to what's going on in Syria, other than the fact that they're killing a lot of innocent people? And JJ made an excellent point earlier during the pop culture segment on Syria when he said something about we're not involved in Africa. There's people getting savage over there, getting killed and eaten and everything else.
What was the guy's name?
Coney.
Yeah, and that story's been around for a long time. He, of course, is the ultimate bad man, and that's true. And you say it's oil, but on the other hand, is it just oil? Because remember, you said Britain's our ally. Israel's a big ally of ours too. So we have to align ourselves somewhat with the Israelis' policy, although sometimes we don't agree with it. And they're a big ally of ours too. And yes, there's some oil connected. I hate to think that. I would hate to think a president would send us to war over just oil. I know it's important.
It's what George Bush and Cheney got blamed for.
Well, I know, but there was more to it than that too, because there was a father involved too.
Well, no, I said, as I said earlier, it was a vendetta George Bush had about a death threat to his dad.
Yeah, well, so without getting political on it, I'm just talking about what it would take for us to want to say, yeah, we need to do something, because I'm really conflicted about this. I don't know the answer. I don't want us to sit by and let people die of nerve gas. It's just wrong. And I know it's different, and I also know we can't be the policeman for the world, because every country is going to have civil. Look at the civil uprising in Egypt, what took place, what have you. And there's going to be an Egypt and a Syria, and there's always going to be something. Who knows? One day in our country, there may be the same thing. Let's hope not.
So there's civil disobedience and unrest, and when you have a division of wealth like that, there's always going to be. History shows us that that's how revolutions start, etc. I guess the question I have is, what would it take for us to want to get involved at some level in Syria?
I don't think the American people are going to want to get involved in Syria at any. I don't think there's anything that could take place that they would want to get involved. If the majority of Americans think that poisonous gas killing people in a very inhumane way isn't enough to get involved, what is going to be a catalyst? I don't think there is a catalyst.
Well, I mean, we can see,
unless they assassinate like our president or something.
How about if we had a SEAL team over there and a rescue mission, and they blew them all up and killed them? Would that be enough?
That's our bad.
That's
still
that's a black ops. I don't think that would be enough. I still don't think that would
you don't
be
think
enough.
It'd be enough.
Nope.
No.
I think it would take something that would affect most Americans' daily lives, like what Tom said, assassinating a president. I think it has to do something that would affect most Americans' daily lives and affect them.
Because I think most Americans, buddy, are like what JJ said. JJ said earlier, Syria, anything going on in Syria is not affecting me.
But that's not correct.
But I didn't say it's correct. I said that the majority of Americans feel that way.
Yeah, they feel like it's an isolationist thing, and most people feel like JJ feels like. And I tend to fall in that category. But remember World War II.
I do. I remember.
And we sat back for a long time.
I'm well aware.
And
remember the forced country of Israel in 1947 after World War II has a lot to do with what's going on in that area of the world now.
So, I mean, we've seen...
So let's not forget that the powers that be that won World War II created the country of Israel and told the Palestinians, by the way, we're taking your land to do it.
Yeah, and my point was we sat back for a long time, though, and didn't do anything until we were filled Pearl Harbor. So who knows what might happen. I mean, I'm not going to say they're going to shoot missiles at us with nerve gas on them, although that's certainly possible. And I'm really bothered by the fact that we can't afford to be a warmongering nation. I don't want us to get involved, but I'm bothered by what's happening to humanity. You know, there's this one thing. In the end, it comes down to this. I'm going to stop talking about it because I want to turn to a sermon. In the end, it comes down to what you believe about life and death and humanity, and whether or not you care enough to help. That's what it boils down to. And
it does, without a doubt. And with that being said, if you use that as the measuring stick, which is a great measuring stick, humanity and what's right by humanity, if that's the measuring stick, we need to be in 30 different African countries. We need to be in a lot of Asian countries. We need to be on the streets of Oakland and Detroit. We need to be everywhere policing.
No, we don't. That's not my point. Everything is not the same. Every situation is not the same. We can't be, because you want to try to address something that's atrocity, whatever it may be. It doesn't mean you want to go out and police the whole world.
Well, what's the difference between nerve gas and a group of tribesmen with machetes going into villages and killing 400 and 500 innocent children and families with machetes?
I know, Tom. I know all that.
What's the difference?
There's a big difference in the sense that the people and tribesmen aren't going to be a threat to do this in other countries or to us. That's a big threat right there. That's the difference. We're not talking about, you're not going to be attacked by a bunch of tribesmen with machetes in this country. It is possible that people in other countries and our country could be attacked with nerve gas, okay? It is possible. So you can't afford to be too much of an isolationist and turn a blind eye towards situations. I want to stop that conversation now because I want to switch gears to something, because we can debate war and peace and nerve gas and not
been
forever.
doing it for thousands of years.
So without getting into that, we're not going to settle it today on this program. I don't believe we're going to settle it. So
I don't think we're powerful. We're not that powerful.
Yeah. So let's get to something we can do something about, and that's called remembering people's names. All right? You have problems remembering names? I do. My dad told me one time when he was in his 60s, I know that guy's name, but I just can't remember it. I just, for some reason, but the thing about him was he had it when he was 35 years old, too. But there's just the thing about, remembering names. And
And we all do it. I the other day I said, "Guy, I know the guy sitting over there, but I can't remember his name."
It was Austin's dad, by the way.
No. But this happened Monday night at Mojo's. I was sitting across from a guy after trivia, and I said, "I know that guy, but I didn't want to go over and talk to him because I couldn't remember his name."
And then you walk over and say, "How you doing? What's going on?"
Right.
And there are people. I ran into a guy at a funeral. I know him, and I'm pretty sure I do, but I didn't want to say his name because I wasn't sure.
Right.
Remember, I hadn't seen him in 30 years either.
Right.
That would factor it. So what do you do about that? Well, here's an article from Forbes. Five best tricks to remembering names.
Is this better than their Christmas movie list?
I hope so. and so again, I'm not vouching for this. I'm not saying this is the absolute be all end all, but I think right now there are certain situations where I need some help on. Like, I mean, after all, Bob.
What?
I'm sorry. Here's a couple of tips on remembering names. Number one, meet and repeat. All right? When you get somebody's name, don't just nod and keep on talking. Try to plug the name into what you're saying. For example, if the man's in front of you, his name is Austin, you say, "Hi, Austin, nice to meet you." Or ask a question with his name in it at the end. "How long have you worked at WOCA, Austin?" And you use this name throughout the conversation, repeating it, but sparingly. You don't want to be overly salesy or repetitive. But when you're saying goodbye, also say, "Good to meet you, Austin. See you later." That's one way. So meet and repeat. That could work, I think.
Sounds like it.
Don't you, Tommy? I'm sorry, you're Austin. Spell it out, they say. Number two. Psychiatrist memory expert Dr. Gary Small, as I'm thinking about that, I'm thinking about Jerry Lucas, by the way, the basketball player who actually memorized a New York City phone book of names. So he says, Dr. Gary Small says, spell it out. And he said, you ask someone to spell their name. Is that Johnson? Is that Smith? How was it? And sometimes if you can't remember a name, you say, "Do you spell your name S-M-I-T or S-M-Y-T?" They say, "It's Johnson." So it's not Smith. But ask them to spell it out. That's another way to do it. Number three is associate. Associate. Experts say if you conjure up a verbal game or image when you first hear a name, it could help. This could be a alliterative a pattern involving something you know about the person, like Forbes.com contributing editor Helen Koster gives a catchy example of Joanne from Jersey, or Sarah from Sales, etc. Number four, make connections. Another way it can be helpful to associate a name with another name. This article says this person received a life-changing tip. There was a spinoff from a speaker who spoke to their group. And so after meeting the 15 people in our group very briefly, he proceeded to go around the room and repeat each of our names. His trick, as you meet someone, consider a famous person who shares their first name and looks someone like them. Ryan looks like Ryan Gosling, etc., etc. And finally, choose to care. Most psychologists and memory experts point out that one of the main reasons we forget somebody's name is we're not really focusing on learning it in the first place. And I think this is the number one, in my opinion, the number one problem.
What, Dale?
Yeah. There's too much going on around you, and it's all vying for your attention. So this author, Keith Ferrazzi, his first piece of advice for remembering names is decide that you care. That's the thing. That's what's so rude about people who don't remember your name, and I'm guilty, is that you didn't care enough to learn my name. So there's a few tips for you. I know it's a problem for lots of us, and one that I could sure improve on myself. Tom, we have a guest. You remember his name?
Yes.
That would be Jeff Halcomb. Just make sure you get it right.
Jeff Halcomb, or Urban Meyer's twin.
There you go. He's in the house. We're going to go to break here, but first I want to say, hey, thanks for coming in, Jeff. I know you had a long day yesterday, and today had a meeting. A lot of news happening with in your business, the water business. So glad you're here.
Glad to be here.
We'll take a break, come back, find out how Jeff's going to spend all that money. Coming up next right here in the Voice of Ocala.
1370 AM, 96.3 FM, streaming live at WOCA.com. The Source.
requires bank approval. Vehicle purchase price affects trade allowance.
Yahoo! Kids are back in school and report cards are right around the corner. I've got old cars shaking in their boots because I'm flunking clunkers and junkers this month.
Hey, Professor Chris Spears from Prestige Auto Sales. What's a smart plan to keep you from flunking out in a car that can't make the grade?
This week, trade in and save more. Get the appraised value of your old car plus up to $4,500 off a nicer, newer car.
Stuck in bad credit detention? Our For the People credit approval process wants to help everyone, even if you've been turned down before.
I vow that no car will be left behind.
Visit Prestige Auto Sales today.
Yes, during our old car report card event, you'll get up to $4,500 off a nicer, newer car plus the appraised value of your old car. But hurry, my old car report card event ends September 30th or after we've helped 67 students pass the test in a nicer, newer car. My name is Chris Spears, and I'm a dealer for the people.
Visit Prestige Auto Sales in Ocala or Bellevue or call 694-1234. See you at Prestige.
Recently, I had a great conversation with General Manager Pat Murray on the special events at Country Club of Ocala.
We have a lot of special events here that are geared towards the family. Easter comes to mind. We have an Easter bunny who hops around on the driving range, and we usually hide somewhere in the neighborhood of 3,000 eggs and turn them loose and let them go harvest the eggs. We have a great family celebration here on the 4th of July where it's a traditional cookout, if you will. And as the sun goes down, the driving range becomes alive with probably one of the better fireworks displays in the area. Breakfast with Santa is a big deal.
Country Club of Ocala, where the Easter Bunny, Santa, and all the children, large and small, are a big deal on every special occasion. For more information, call 352-237-6644. That's 352-237-6644. Country Club of Ocala, proud sponsor of the Monday Gator Report right here on The Source.
Hurricane season is upon us. WOCA and Sunbelt Rentals wants you to be prepared. Sunbelt Rentals has the equipment to help, like air nailers, aerial lifts, chainsaws, chippers, and stump grinders. They have light towers, skid steer loaders, and generators, just to name a few. Sometimes you might need a little help cleaning up afterwards. Sunbelt has the equipment you need, like dehumidifiers, pumps, sewer snakes, wet dry vacs, floor dryers, carpet equipment, and more. And right now is the time to get it done, with 2 special offers just for WOCA listeners. If you rent Friday after 3 p.m. and return it Monday before 9 a.m., you will only be charged for 1 day. Plus, just by mentioning WOCA, you get 25% off your rental. You heard right, not 5 or 10, but 25% off your rental just by mentioning that you heard it here on WOCA. But you'd better hurry. This is a limited time offer. Visit Sunbelt today on Highway 27, just half-mile east of I-75. Give them a call at 369-9101 or visit them on the web, sunbelt.com.
Hey, it's Christy with Ocala Mac and PC Repair and Ocala Guest Wi-Fi to let you know we have you covered. We are the only local certified Apple and Microsoft computer company in Ocala. We are family owned and operated. From mobile repair to wireless networks, viruses, new systems, or security cameras, we do it all. Check us out online, ocalamacpc.com, or give us a call, 352-566-8324.
Tell them Nick, Madison, or Mason sent you and get free diagnostic.
Get your internet telephone service from the company that brought affordable internet service to Ocala in the first place. All is Safe is a sister company of Ocala Guest Wi-Fi, a company you've known and trusted for all your internet needs. Whether you need a phone or hundreds, we've got the products and services to meet your needs both now and in the future. Our plans include everything from local and long-distance calling to equipment maintenance and even software upgrades. You can count on All is Safe to give you cost certainty knowing that your bill will be the same next week, next month, or even next year. Call 352-450-8647 today to learn how to cut your monthly telephone bill up to 60%.
What you may have missed on the John Tesh Radio Show.
When it comes to Facebook, the more friends we have and the more time we spend reading their updates, the less happy and less satisfied we are with our life. Most chips are fried in oils that are loaded with omega-6 fatty acids, and high levels of omega-6s cause hyperactivity, depression, even feelings of aggression. To a baby, it's much easier to babble sounds like da, ba, while saying ma requires more coordination between the lips, jaw, and soft palate.
On the John Tesh Radio Show. Don't miss this stuff.
To be told, but I've heard one on you, and I'm gonna make your head burn. Think of me in the depths of your despair. Make a home down there as mine sure won't be shared. The scars of
Welcome back to the program, Voice of Ocala. My pleasure now to bring back a friend of the show. We were counting yesterday people we thought we'd been on here multiple times, double digits, guys, and among our favorite guests, and this guy's name came up. Jeff Halcomb, whose title changes every time I get him on. I think it's still now Director of Water and Sewer for the City of Ocala. Is that right, Jeff?
That's it.
Wow, I got it right?
You got it right.
Oh, because it changed in the last 10 minutes. You could be building czar. And, well, there's some big news today, and the fact that another contribution, shall we say, from the state to bring in to help fix things up around here, around the Silver Springs area, and update this case a couple of wastewater disposal systems, and as you say, water reclamation. I think it's WRF.
Number two, yes.
Number
sir.
two,
yes, sir.
And so I don't know all the technicalities. I was struggling through it yesterday. You were kind enough to send me a text or two to straighten me out. But you met with the Secretary of Herschel Vineyard yesterday and his associates, deputy, and they came to town. And you did what?
What we talked about yesterday was they're really putting a whole lot of effort towards the springs, and I think there's a lot of people in Marion County that ought to finally be happy, or they ought to be in a little bit better mood anyway, because it seems like that they get it, they got it, and the message is that we need to clean up the springs. And to start that off with, they are going to give both Marion County utilities and the City of Ocala utilities some money to upgrade or take care of some of the weaknesses that we have in some of our systems. And for Ocala, our WF number 2 site is a water reclamation facility. It meets permit standards currently, but what it doesn't do is remove enough nitrogen to meet advanced wastewater treatment standards. And simply meaning is that we need to remove as much nitrogen as we can in the water. So they're going to give us, it's right around $3.87 million. The project is going to be somewhere between $12 to $15 million project. So that's around 30-some%, so say 31, 32%. So that's a big, nice hit for us to help out. And what that does for us is it allows us to be able to keep pushing that money forward and push it to other projects that we want to do to further clean up the spring. So when Herschel Vineyard and Drew Bartlett were there, we had a really good conversation about the springs. And I was very happy to see that, a lot of times we see stuffed shirts that don't get it. I think he's getting it. Do I think that in the beginning there was a lot of effort that he needed to be pushed pretty good and DEP needed to be pushed pretty good, and so did Tallahassee? But I think they're all on the same track, and I heard him say a lot of nice comments about what was going on and what he wanted to do and what he wanted to be a part of. And it's not going to be just a one-year project. It's going to be several years till we see some results. So that was really good. So we showed them what we were going to do at the plant, and basically we have a certain process that is an older type technology, and we're going to upgrade that process to a newer technology.
Why should people in Marion County and Ocala, what should they be grateful about, aside from the fact that they're going to upgrade the facility? What does it do to improve their quality of life, and how does it impact Silver Springs?
That's a great question, and that's one that if everybody don't have a smile on their face, they ought to have a smile on their face, because
I know you do.
I sure do, because it is one of those things when you can get the political body moved to be environmentalist instead of just worrying about how they're going to make the next dollar, and they can really do something that's going to help the springs. Then you got to really start thinking, wait a minute, are we starting to change the way people look at the life? So what does it do? What it does is it sends a message that we're just not going to stand for the status quo. We're going to start to improve what we're doing. What it does for our water quality is that if we can remove nitrogen from our water, we're going to start to see changes in the spring. You've had Rob Knipe on here several times before, and the big deal is that we've got to start reducing the amount of nitrogen from all sources, not just from the wastewater treatment plants. If you look at all of the studies, some of the nitrogen comes from maybe about 3% from the wastewater plants, but still yet, the quantities and the results that we can have by removing 79% of the nitrogen, that is a big hit. So that's a really good thing. So for our water quality, it means improved water quality. What it means for the environment is acute and you can see it, better environment for our ecosystem. So it's a good thing.
And Silver Springs?
For Silver Springs, I'm hoping that the water will start to clean up pretty soon. We'll have less of algae growth. It's going to take a while. I'm not expecting it to happen next year. You go out and it looks like it did in the 1960s when Sea Hunt was being filmed. But I think we can get there. I think it's a goal. and we're going to keep doing it. So there's a lot of good things. They talked about Silver Springs a lot while they were there with us.
What did they say?
They said that they had allocated $4 million, but they also felt like that it's not going to be enough. They felt like that there was some issues there. They didn't go into the details of what all the issues were.
Well, we know there's arsenic in the water. That already has been in the paper.
Okay.
That's one of the issues they have from Ross Island. That's one of the things.
Right.
And, finding more than they thought was there.
Yeah, and I think some of the stormwater issues, I think they knew about them, but I don't think they understood them as good as they.
Is that where nitrogen comes from?
Where nitrogen comes from?
Stormwater?
No, actually, well, not so much. I mean,
where does it come from?
It does. Basically, it comes from, and I'm not sure how to say this without.
Farmland?
It comes from ag sources.
I know that when you grow peanuts or whatever, it leaves nitrogen in the ground, I believe, right?
Yeah, what happens, most fertilizers and most people, when they do number one.
Yeah. You say it.
Okay. Sorry out there if I offended anybody, but
I have to urinate. Go ahead.
Yeah. That is ammonia nitrogen.
Okay.
And that is the key. Yeah. If there was no ammonia nitrogen, in other words, if you didn't have to do that part and we didn't have to have that fertilizer, because if you look on fertilizers, most of it is urea, and it has that component in it. So that's the problem.
The ammonia turns to nitrate, or
the ammonia, once it reaches a certain level of oxygen level, and once it reaches a certain pH level, things begin to change. So that, without going into a whole lot of detail, yes, ammonia starts to change to ammonia nitrate, nitrites, and so on.
Well, you're really happy. Last time I saw you as happy is when you did that big project where I think you guys, I spent a lot less money than that, and drilled down to find out if you could reach the other aquifer here. To explain to people, there's the aquifer that we use, and there's the other aquifer, which we're just sort of a part of, which I guess is south of us, right? So we were able to put a big straw down there and find out that we could draw the other aquifer, which means we've doubled somewhat, almost, our water needs in terms. And that was the big New York Times article about Jeff and his group who spearheaded this project and found water. It's like finding gold. And I know that made you happy too. You're always happy when you're digging and doing things, aren't you?
Yeah. I like doing that. It's always fun. But yeah, the water thing is a great, it's a great concept. But we hope we don't ever have to use it. We hope we can conserve enough water. But at the end of the day, when Ocala, many years down the road, they're going to have to look at our water supply and do they have enough. So we're going to have to look at alternative water supply. So
desalination and all that stuff.
Sure.
So we've been talking about water for a while, you and me. We started when I was working at the magazine, and we talked about that 5-6 years ago, and so you've taught me a lot. I still have a long way to go, but you taught me a lot about it. But I'm glad to see you so upbeat and happy, because this means there's good news for the community and good news for us, and A, for our water supply, but B, I'm now more optimistic about Silver Springs than I was before.
Yeah, and let me go back to what you said about the community. Yeah. Probably one of the happiest things about that is that when we first started this project, looking at what we had to do in the city of Ocala, the city of Ocala was going to have to spend $150 million to upgrade their wastewater plants.
Wow.
And that was based on the beginning of the information that was coming out to all of us, and utilities and environmentalists and everybody coming out at the time, and trying to get the nitrates back to what they were, many years ago, was something that a lot of us were have an issue with. So a lot of science was involved. Rob Knipe, again, he's been on here several times. He looked at, where we need to be, and 0.35 milligrams per liter is where the springs would love to be. It's a great place. So what we're doing is that we're trying to utilize the equipment that we have and modify it to the degree that we need to do the modification and get the results we want. We're able to go from, we had an engineering study that was a couple years ago that put it down to $50 million. Well, now we're down to $12 to $15 million. So the great thing about that is that for our community, and I heard you say yesterday, maybe we're up to 20 people that are listening to you, but I don't know what that number really is.
I'm saying we busted through 30, JJ tells me now. So today we probably went up another 10 with you on. So.
But the great thing about that is that we do not have to bond any more money. In other words, the city does not have to go into debt in order for us to make them improvements. We use the reserves that we have currently in our water and wastewater system. We'll use those to make these modifications. So there's no net bad to this. It's a win column for the community, and it's a win column for the county and the city as well.
That's great. Wish we had more time to talk to you about this. Let me just say one thing before we go. what, to me, the most pleasing part of this whole conversation, so I'm glad you came in instead of calling in on the phone, is because I can see your energy level and see your bright-eyed approach to this and how you're enthusiastic, because that tells me that you feel like the people are working with us in good faith. And that's the concern I had about, I hope these people are not jacking us around, because I'm not really happy about some of the things on the concession side right now. If what I've heard is true, I can't prove it yet. I'm pleased to know this part of it. If you tell me it's good, I trust you. I feel like it's good.
Perseverance, man. That's it. Perseverance is that if you get knocked down, you got to get back up. We got to keep rolling forward. It's like a friend of mine, Kerry, who's listening today. You just got to keep on rolling along. And
Hunter, too, by the way, it's his birthday today.
Happy birthday to Hunter, right? Yeah. So it's perseverance. And I think that perseverance is beginning to pay off. Do we have right to question every move that people make? Absolutely. But are we finally going in the right direction? Amen. Yes, sir.
That'll preach.
Yeah.
Can I get an amen out there someplace? All right, Jeff, thanks so much for coming by. Appreciate it very much. And
nice digs.
I'll be talking. Yeah, you like the new studios?
Yeah, I like it.
We got you an office in the back just in case you need to move in here.
Right by the water cooler.
I hope I don't need it. I hope they let me keep my job for a while.
I think it's pretty safe.
All right.
Jeff Halcomb, Director of Water and Sewer, and a friend of the show. How many times had Jeff been on, did we say yesterday? We have any idea? You think it's over 10?
Yeah.
So he's in that circle of people who've been, I'd say at least that. So it's always good to have you on, Jeff. Thank you.
Hey, good to be here. See you.
Appreciate that. Wrapping up this hour with tweets and quotes. Sports coming up at 5 o'clock around the water cooler. Hey, we need some water. And we'll be back after this timeout on the Voice of Ocala.
1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source.
Hi, this is Buddy Martin. If you have an award or a trophy in your house, there's more than a good chance it came from BJ Trophies Gifts and Awards. At BJ Trophies, Floyd Hirschberger and his staff have a lot more than just trophies. Among the items they specialize in are donor recognition walls and trees, personalized or engraved gifts, cast bronze dedication plaques, wide format digital printing with posters, banners, and signs, and promotional products. Floyd is the official trophy and awards maker for the Voice of Ocala radio show and is North Central Florida's leader in custom recognition programs, corporate awards, industrial engraving, unique gifts, and advertising specialties. When Angie Lewis went shopping for something to award to the winners of her State Farm Good Neighbor Award, she shopped first at BJ Trophies Awards and Gifts. Check them out at 1735 Northeast Jacksonville Road on North Magnolia's Miracle Mile, or call them today at 352-732-2249. BJ Trophies Awards and Gifts. Trophies is just our middle name.
Hi, it's Lisa Midget with Kinetic Motion Fitness. I'm looking forward to a fun, healthy summer, and I have a few ideas that might just help you and your friends stay in shape and have fun too. Along with awesome personal training and group classes at our warm and inviting fitness studio, we also offer fitness classes at your home or business. And if you're tired of the same old, boring cake and punch party, why not let us host a hot new health trend, a fitness party at your home or office? If you're having a hard time getting to the gym this summer, because of your crazy schedule, then work out with your friends or coworkers in a private group fitness class, or host a fitness party at your home or office. We will bring you and your friends or coworkers one of our great workouts like Zumba, Pilates, Body Bar, Yoga, Tai Chi Boot Camp, or Zumba Tonics for kids. We can even help you reach your long-term goals by meeting at your place weekly for an on-location workout. Check out our website at kmfocala.com and like us on Facebook. Kinetic Motion Fitness is located just 5 minutes from downtown Ocala near the Skylark Plaza. Kinetic Motion Fitness. We're ready when you are.
Hi, I'm Yvette, and I'm here to tell you a few things about ABC Fredericks Appliance. They sell not only new, but used guaranteed appliances. When you call ABC Fredericks Appliance, they will provide service on what they sell and any appliances that you own. ABC Fredericks Appliance is located in Bellevue, right over the railroad tracks. Call 352-629-5181. That's 352-629-5181. That's 352-629-5181. ABC Fredericks Appliance.
So what did you do with your weekend? Me? I was flying, because I'm taking flying lessons from Ocala Aviation. Now you're probably thinking to yourself, hey, I'd like to give that a shot, but I'm not quite sure. Well, I've got the solution. It's called the Discovery Flight, and that's exactly what it is. It helps you discover the wonder of flying and if it's for you. It's only $99, and it gives you the chance to learn a bit more about the airplane and then actually go for a ride with a flight instructor and take control of the airplane. That's how I got started, and now I'm on my way to being a pilot. Yeah, I know, scary thought, right? But the demand for qualified pilots is stronger than ever. And with the help of Ocala Aviation, you could make a career change and learn to be a commercial pilot. But it all starts with a discovery flight. So stop by the flight school, conveniently located at the Ocala Airport. Visit the website at ocalaaviation.com or call 861-7484. That's 861-7484. Ocala Aviation. Your adventure starts here.
Cookies, 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 cookies. When you want something special and fun for any occasion, get cookies. That's right. The Great American Cookie Company in the Paddock Mall, Ocala will make a delicious, fun-filled delight just for you. You might notice that I said fun and delicious more than once. That's because I can't say it enough. The next time you're at the mall, be sure and stop by or call 352-237-2557 to place your order. Cookies, cookies, Yum. cookies, cookies. We go cookie eating cookies. The Great American Cookie Company.
Welcome back to the program. Always good to have Jeff Halcomb. And time now, JJ, to roll out a few tweets and quotes. End up this hour on a Thursday. Always like to have a little levity along the way and a few thoughts, pearls of wisdom. And that's what this is supposed to be. Number one, anonymous. A man is a success if he gets up in the morning and gets to bed at night, and in between, he does what he wants to. I can agree with that. That's a good life if you can do that. Number two, this comes from Rosalind Carter. Remember her, Tom? You have to have confidence in your ability and then be tough enough to follow through. And finally, this comes from Men's Humor Magazine. I would eat way more salads if salads were made out of pizza. Yes. I eat salad every night. Had a pretty good salad out at a pizza place, as a matter of fact, yesterday with our friend Ron Cope. A lunch out there with him. And
I don't get invited to these lunches.
You can come, just bring your wallet. Yeah, I dropped by to see Ron at power plant, and we were talking, and we had to do some business, so we went by and went to Blue Highway, as a matter of fact, which are over our old stomping grounds on the other side of town. Back we used to be on the east side. Hear this right here? This is the picks. This is, folks, this is how you're going to get rich right here. And what you're going to do is you listen to my picks coming up next hour on football, and you can cash it in.
The guy that went 3-3 last week.
That's last week. 3-3,
JJ. It's not even close to the lead.
Let me just say one thing. When you won something, you can talk about it. All right. If you ain't won, you can't say
last week. That's all I know.
So unless there's a champion, I think there's two champions in this room, and I don't believe you're one of them. So until he gets that, no cred.
I don't listen to him.
That's good. That's good advice. How many, by the way? We'll find out what he got.
By the way, poor Austin. Let me explain to him the picks contest today. So,
that should be fun. These will be out, by the way. And you folks, if you're interested in knowing about it, do we have some copies over there?
They're out front, right in the lobby.
Out front. If you want to play along with some prizes, this is the place to do it right here. It's our Pick Six contest. And, Albert Peak started out with 6-0. So we'll talk about that. We got our picks for you. Tom James on his way in for Around the Water. We should call it the Jeff Halcomb Water.
And we missed. I did not know that last week. We got to get that in.
We got it. I got mine. Coming up next right here on Buddy Sports Page.
1370 AM, 96.3 FM, streaming live at WOCA.com. The Source.
Dry, itchy, scaly skin? Do you have psoriasis? Consider joining our research study. Rinstar Medical Research in Ocala is conducting a research study evaluating the effectiveness of investigational combination of two study medications for moderate to severe plaque psoriasis. You may qualify if you're between the ages of 18 and 75 and have been diagnosed with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis for at least 6 months. For more information, please call Renstar in Ocala at 352-629-5800. Qualified participants may receive study-related medical care and study medication. Compensation for time and travel may also be provided. To find out more information about this psoriasis study, please call Renstar Medical Research at 352-629-5800. That's 352-629-5800. Renstar Medical Research, seeking tomorrow's answers to the health questions of today.
If you need a sign or a banner for your yard or your business or your campaign, I'd recommend you go to Signs Unlimited at 318 South Magnolia in Ocala. Screen printing, embroidery, digital graphics. Do what I did when we needed signs for the Save the Marion Theater Group. Go see Vic Buttermore at Signs Unlimited if you want quality work with a fast turnaround from somebody who is deeply committed to his community and always ready to assist you. There's a reason Vic's slogan is, "It's our business to make your business better." Sign up for Signs Unlimited. Call 732-7341 today.
Relations got you down. Are you at your wit's end? Does the opposite sex just confuse you? Then I've got the solution for you, Dr. Buddy.
Well, let me just tell you what you slugs are doing wrong. Remember, dummy, it's about the chase and the romantic interludes, okay? Now, here's the difference. Instead of dinner and a movie, which seems obsolete these days, they have this random phone text, Facebook posts, instant message, and quote-unquote non-dates. Traditional courtship, which is still what women want, guys. Picking up a telephone, asking someone on a date, maybe even going as far to pick them up in your car, requires courage, strategic planning, and a considerable investment in ego.
So now you know where to tune in to get all your relationship advice. It's the Dr. Buddy Show every Monday on the Voice of Ocala. You can succeed only on 96.3 FM, 1370 AM, The Source.
What you may have missed on the John Tesh Radio Show.
When it comes to Facebook, the more friends we have and the more time we spend reading their updates, the less happy and less satisfied we are with our life.